What's good, football fans? Back at you once again with another video. You know, a big question coming into the season for me was where was the pressure going to come from on this defensive line? I mean, we know about Allen and Payne and you know what they bring to the table and how the double teams they draw should lead to pressure elsewhere. But really, who was going to step up and do it? The first few weeks, you know, we had some injuries that happened. It kind of started to thin things out. And last week, it really had me looking at, man, who's going to step up? Which leads me to Dante Fowler, which last week I feel like he definitely was able to have a really good game. You know, for a guy that's a speed rusher, spot duty kind of guy, whatever you want to call him, the 20 to 25 snaps a game that he comes in, he really does bring it. I have noticed that sometimes his speed gets him into situations where he'll overrun the play. But when he's on time, he definitely adds to this unit. That said, let's just hop right into the film. You know, his very first play, this is definitely a case of in the right place at the right time and good hand-eye coordination as Andy Dalton drops back, starts looking for Hubbard out of the backfield. And when Hubbard goes to try to get this ball, I'm not sure that he really sees that ball coming to him until the last second when he tries to get it. And it kind of deflects and goes right into Fowler's hands. And, I mean, from that point on, it's just off to the races. This thing was just, you know, framed, carbon copy, great play. Touchdown, pick six, whatever you want to call it. All the way to the house, I was jumping up and screaming after this play right here. I spoke about it a couple weeks ago. This defense needs takeaways to be able to keep the offense in the right frame of mind, keep it rolling, keep everything going in the right direction. You know, the good teams are going to come in and be able to do things against pretty much everybody, but this defense needs these type of plays, these home run type of plays. And, you know, Andy Dalton trying to tackle Dante Fowler there at the end is kind of laughable. You know, that's not going to happen. But once he got past him, really there's nobody to stop him. Fowler is very, you know, is very fast. Plus you got Daron Payne there playing keep away. Something that I've really gotten into watching pretty much on every play that I can see this direction from is the way that these guys do these combo moves, these double moves. This, you know, like this one right here is just a simple chop to the outside, spin back around. You know, just a simple chop is just not enough with these guys. Like I said, chop to the outside, spin back to the inside, and the ball's already away. I was just pinpointing he has great movement right here. It's a nice fluid movement. In football, every once in a while, the play call, everything is perfect. You know, maybe it has something to do with their starting right tackle being out. Whatever you want to call it anyway, this play gets blown up. And it's all about Dante Fowler moving inside and being able to keep his eye on the ball and hit the running back almost, I mean, right as he gets the ball. If he's there any sooner, this is another turnover. Watch it back from misdirection in real time, and you'll see he instantly sees something and starts moving inward and is all over that play. Another example here of him taking advantage of the weak side of that Carolina line. They've got some injuries, so I'm sure the defensive coordinator was like, okay, we definitely want Fowler over here on this edge today because we know he's going to be able to get some pressure on this offensive lineman over here who doesn't have as much, you know, experience running with the first string this season. And Fowler almost gets to Andy Dalton again. I think the main reason why this ball is able to be thrown is because Dalton is an old wily vet and he's able to get rid of it. And Dalton's able to actually, with a hand in his face and, you know, Fowler's helmet right in his mouth, is able to still, even with the ball, looks like slightly touched, make this completion right here. Lot of pressure coming from 6 in this game right here. Fowler was all over Dalton's backside right here. And for a lot of the afternoon when he was actually in there, I don't think he had but about 20 or 21 snaps for the game, but he spent most of his day in the backfield. I would think it's just a matter of time before maybe they start upping Fowler's pitch count a little bit. I know that they've been doing this with him for a few years now. They did it with him in Atlanta, did it with him in Dallas. He's definitely one of Dan Quinn's guys, and you can see why. He doesn't give up. He keeps the play going, doesn't stop fighting, and a lot of times he catches up with the quarterback before he gets to the line of scrimmage like he did right here, and that's a sack. Now, this was last week against the Ravens, and he was able to close the door on Lamar being able to get outside the pocket or inside for what that's worth on this play right here, and do something that not everybody in the world can do, and that's put his hands on Lamar before Lamar is able to do anything about it. Get away from him, get rid of the ball, whatever you have it. I had some Baltimore Raven fans in my mentions on a couple of different sites about this play right here, trying to say this was somehow a dirty play by Dante Fowler, but anybody with a set of eyes can see that it's not a dirty play. He never once grabbed the horse collar, which is what they were screaming. Even with the announcers saying that this wasn't anything, they still were all, it might be them. They made it to the change to the rules. Man, whatever, bro. Like, this is Lamar getting tackled from behind. The thing that made it look a little different was the fact that he reached up and grabbed right there around his numbers, and Lamar started coming down. If anything, you could maybe say that he threw the leg out and leg whipped him a little bit, but, it wasn't called. The referee is right there. On this play here, if Lamar held it any longer, I was under the impression that he was just a speed rush guy and was not that good against the run. Maybe we're wrong about that. Who knows? I love plays like this because this is a play where on the edge over here, he loses his footing. The offensive lineman's able to grab him, throw him to the ground after that. So he's down there. He's got a lineman laying on top of him, and he starts fighting back. Now, in the process, Lamar starts doing this, starts doing that. The offensive lineman gave up on trying to lay himself over there and smother him, and Dante gets back up, decides that he's going to be part of the play, and makes the sack. You get a better view on the play from this angle right here. As you see, he goes to the ground, he's able to get back up, and in the process, make the sack. I love guys like this, though, that will get up and just fight to the end of the play. Like, they might get dogged a couple times, pushed around, but they'll spin, they'll move, they'll dip, they'll dodge until they're part of the play, like this play right here. And he wasn't the deciding factor that brought Watson to the ground on this play right here, but he definitely was the person who made Watson spin out. And when he did, he just got creamed from behind. Fighting against the prospective double team against the Browns here, he rolls a little bit too wide. Watson's able to roll outside and get back on this. This is the play where Frankie Luvu was able to make Deshaun Watson see some ghosts. And another one sort of similar right there. Almost. I mean, he was like right there. Good play by the offensive lineman. But as we all know, there's no way you're going to keep a guy down like this all day long. And it generally happens when these guys start stunting and rolling in and out. And yep, there we go. I just love the way he throws him to the ground right there. Like he hits that man with a little leg sweep and zoom. Watch that back in real time and see how fast he does that. Yeah, I mean, quarterbacks have a hard time reacting to that. Here he is almost getting Mighty Mouse as he's about to let go of the ball. And it would have been nice to put his hands on him just a half a second earlier there, but yeah, he was almost there. Swear it's not the same play, but almost the same type of reaction here. Just a second behind the play. Gotta love this play right here. He kind of throws what I would call a fake rip right here. Spins off of it. Ducks inward. And almost, but I'll tell you, Joe Burrow is actually a little slippery fucker. And he's able to get outside the pocket on that play right there. That's some Houdini shit right there. I don't know how he did it, but he's able to do it. Get away from him. Honestly, probably should have been a sack right there, y'all. Just a second ago, you saw him do the rip into a spin move. Right here, the rip actually pays off. He does a little stutter step, kind of a fake move to the outside, goes inward, tries to rip, and has to fight his way through, but it works out for him because Burrow has to move up as another man's coming across right there. And yeah, that leads to a sack right there. I mean, he gets a hold of Burrow, who tries to get away from him, but there's no getting away from that. And yeah, down you go. I love at the end of this, he gives a little bow to the crowd here at the end. Watch. A little bow to the crowd. Thank you. Thank you. Now, while this turned into a first down play right here, is actually a catch for Jamar Chase across the middle, I was impressed at the time I saw this play originally, but Daron Payne and Dante Fowler are able to hit a couple different linemen at the same time, and everybody falls, including Burrow. And like I said, Burrow is slippery. Look, he barely, I don't know how he does it right here. First of all, Fowler gets through the line right here. That guy on the edge doesn't really do much trying to stop him, the wide receiver. But the man standing there, the tight end who's pulling across, puts a nice block on him. Fowler's able to just fight through that and then put his hands on Burrow, who slides out to the side. I bet you the AFC North fans think that Joe Burrow is a complete pain in the ass the way he's able to escape the pocket like that. If they actually ever put together a team with an offensive line, they'd be a problem. Look, folks, for me, with Fowler, I like what I see. The problem is, for some reason, he's never, played above a certain snap count per game. And don't get me wrong, I like situational guys, and they do definitely come in handy. And I know Dan Quinn appears to like these kind of guys, and that's great. But I still have a question of who is going to be that constant pressure from this team, especially with Jonathan Allen going down. I did see that they got rid of Jamin Davis, which he was just hanging around. I guess they just finally decided to give him his paycheck and tell him to go because he was on guaranteed money anyway. They need the roster spot. This guy can't do it well enough to be able to take one up, But I do expect to see Fowler's snap count go up just a tiny bit. Maybe not a drastic amount, but more than he was seeing at the beginning of the season. Obviously, he's already seen an uptick already. But I believe as far as roster-wise, they will definitely try to bring guys up that are already into their system. Maybe they'll work the practice squad a little bit as far as replenishing the roster positions go. But all in all, I believe this is just another push towards younger talent. So we'll see what next week brings. But in the meantime, Fowler definitely brings a veteran presence to that defensive line. And it's a defense that needs to have some sacks, and it needs to have some interceptions and some, turnovers. They don't get stuff like that, then it's going to be problems, As I've already said, the good teams are going to find ways to get yards. The good teams are going to find ways to get first downs in certain situations and make the game tougher to win, obviously. With Washington kind of in a get-right year right now on this defensive side of the ball, it's good to see flashes of guys being able to get, good pursuit, get at the quarterback, and get things done. Honestly, the best things of this defense have yet to be seen. The more you see from the system and the more you see from the use of what they have on the roster already, you will be able to know for yourself, if they're going in the right direction or not. Me personally, I still think they're a couple guys away on the back end. And my main question mark still continues on, like, where is the pressure going to come from week in and week out on a consistent basis? We know that they have guys that can come in and spot duty, but my main question mark still remains, who is going to be the full-time main edge rusher for this team? Who is going to be the guy that's going to be the one that steps up and causes all the havoc? I was wondering if maybe Dorrance Armstrong was that guy. He looked like he was kind of stepping up, getting comfortable. But then, he's a little dinged up now, so not so sure it's going to be him either. And I'm not so certain he was really going to ever be that guy anyway. Don't get me wrong, I like what he brings, but I'm not sure if he's going to be that edge rusher that we thought like Chase Young was going to be, or that we thought that Montez Sweat was going to be worth, Personally, you can make an argument that Sweat maybe should have been given a paycheck, but hey, I get it. It was time to rebuild. It was time to get what you could. Ron Rivera backed him into a corner roster-wise when it came to that situation. Even though Chase Young appeared to be a can't-miss situation, he just ended up being another failed Ron Rivera pick. And it left that organization in a situation where they have to piece things together with situational guys until they can put some drafts together where everything clicks right. But at any rate, let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comments. And do me a favor, hit that thumbs up before you hit the road. Y'all take it easy. Peace.